Hmm. And in some ways, that kind of segues into I wanted to talk about the song "Finally Be Me," which um, seems very much along the lines of, I want to be heard, I want to be seen for who I am. Um, how much of that song was autobiographical, and how much of it was pieced together from other people or life experiences?
I think that song was 100% autobiographical.
Ah, okay.
100%. Yeah. It was one of those songs that I think wrote itself in 1 hour. We sat
Wow.
at the piano and I'm like, I think this is what the song needs to say. And it was there.
Hmm. And then have you, how do I put this? Have you been able to stay in that place where you're finally yourself since? I mean,
Yeah.
you haven't lost it?
No, I think there are always moments where life challenges you, and I think your authenticity will be questioned, and you will be put into positions where, you know, do you want to go there? Is that align with what you believe in? Is that like walking a line? What's the deal? I think the biggest element for me is in the big picture, I am, and in the little picture, I am almost all the time. And when I'm not, I try to find my way back there as quickly as possible. I
Hmm.
think life has its ups and downs, so you're going to get lost. The biggest, when I wrote that song, I that was one of the most, not the most, but one of the most um, absolutely heartbreaking times of my life where, those times when you think, I don't know how I'm going to keep living and I don't know how I got myself into this in the first place. And I don't think it's you wake up one day and here I am, this is me, I'm going to stay this way. I think it's a
Yeah.
constant process. I think it's finding your way there and then working every day to staying there as much as you can.
Hmm. And to me, the song is fascinating because it seems like this song about dichotomies, and that it's both about extreme vulnerability, but also about extreme strength and personal power and perseverance. So first off, do you think there's kind of two sides to the same coin? Do you think, one kind of feeds the other, or are they in
Yeah.
conflict, or
No, I don't think they're in conflict. I think one would not exist without the other. I
hmm,
think that, I think you have to go through the rough times to make it through the good ones. If life were like this, it would be boring and we would go insane. Um, not that I think it all has to be, minus 100 plus 100, but I wouldn't be who I am today without all the good or the bad that has happened. They both needed to happen. And so I think that is always easy to say when you look back, you know? When something terrible has happened or something heartbreaking, and then 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you're like, well, that was heartbreaking, but it made sense because then this and this and this happened, which now made something good. But while you're in it, it sucks and it's terrible, and you don't know when you're gonna get over it or through it. And so I do think that while you're in it, um, there's nothing good about it. And I try to remind myself that at some point I'm gonna look back and be like, I'm sure this was worth it. But right now, I'm just not a fan.
hmm. And then not just in terms of the lyrics, but in terms of your vocals and how they sound. It again seems to express vulnerability and strength at the same time. And I'm not sure how you were able to do that. And I'm curious, what's the key to being able to do that? Because usually a song is just absolute power, or it's absolute just crumbling. How were you able to kind of walk the line between the two?
Um, we saved that song for almost the end of the recording process. And I told Mark, the producer and sound engineer and absolute master talent. We've just had finished recording one song and we were like, okay, let's take a break. Should we meet again tomorrow? And I said, listen, let's meet again tonight. Let's take like a brain break and a breather. And can we meet again tonight? I want to get this vocal done. And we were in the studio and I turned off all the lights. I wanted it to be completely dark in that room. Um, because that, I don't know, that kind of makes me feel vulnerable because you're alone, you're in the dark, and and I wanted to sing it top to bottom as many times as I could, just to kind of you sing it once and you sing it as powerful as you can. You're like, I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna be strong and I'm empowered. And then you have the times, I had a time where I just started bawling in the middle of it because I'm like, I'm broken and I'm
Mm.
sad, and I don't know if it was worth it. And so kind of by peeling away all of the layers, I guess, it was the fact that I kind of went through that journey where I'm like, I'm both. You can be vulnerable and sad and sometimes somewhat regretful and still feel empowered and strong for what came through it.
Mm.
And so I guess it was peeling away the layers in the studio. It didn't take long. It wasn't like we were in there for I don't know how much, but it wasn't the first or the second take. Let's let's say that.